Good morning, my apace are back. Here's the plan. Firstly, a bit more energy. It's felt a bit flat the last couple of days. My fault entirely, not sure why. So we'll try and pick up the pace. Inside the pool, we have asked for another change. Where they had put in a blue PVC pipe to aid water flow, I don't think it's enough. So I'll show you what I mean by a bit more water flow in a moment. In the house, they are putting in place some additional headers or replacing headers. I don't know if that's a common term or if that's a local term, but basically it's above windows and doors. So at the gym, the two tall windows will get their headers. And I think where we adjusted the height along the north side of the house, closest to the wall, I think they're going to be addressing those as well. Plastering, of course. Roofing, of course. And we are back to a team of 2 on the roof. There will, I'm sure, be other bits and pieces going on. Mr. Electrician Jessie will be continuing. What could possibly go wrong? This is where we've asked for the change. So, as it stands, you've got the one single blue PVC pipe, which will allow water to flow through from the other side. Don't think it's enough. And it was pointed out in the comments that at some point that might just get clogged up. So here's the plan. We will create, or they will create, kind of an open area within that retaining wall. They will leave in probably one level of concrete hollow block at the top and then remove the next level down almost from one side to the other and then leave the rest below that. I think that will give us a much better water flow here. Should make sure that we allow a free flow of chemicals in the pool to keep going around the pool. There we go. That's the first change today. Here at the gym, this is what they call headers. So it's basically the top of the window. This area will get filled in with concrete hollow block, but initially they put in these metal beams as support. I'm not sure if the correct term is a lintel, but they do then remove those later on, which a number of you have said is not a great idea, but that's what they do. So they will be doing that on this big window and on this big window and alongside the side of the house. If we could walk straight through there, we could walk around of course, but on the other side where we've raised up the height of all the doors and windows to 2.4 meters, they will be doing the same thing along there. Over the last couple of days, this is where things have gone a bit wrong, because we have here both Mr. Jessie, our electrician, currently looking at plans to see where things have to go, and we have Marvin over there. Both of them in the last 2 days have been extremely talkative. This is remarkable. Total silence so far. I think our electrician hasn't seen me yet. Let's see if he has anything to say. No, deep in concentration. There we go. Good morning. I'm very good, thank you. I'm sorry? There we go. That's the Jessie we know. And today, being helped by Lito, not by Ariel, who's been following the electrician around recently. So, more plastering here inside the dining room. And Marvin doing his impersonation of Jessie That's a very good impersonation. Oh, here we go. It's all going wrong. It's all going wrong. Oh dear. Every day it gets better and better. I asked you guys yesterday to help me out with terminology here. I did have a quick look in the comments this morning before any coffee, and I'm more confused than ever, but I will go through the comments properly a little later and see if I can decipher all of the various terms that are being thrown at me. Plus, I will try again to see if I can get a little bit closer to welding and connections so you can see how they look. I've got to either climb up some scaffolding myself, or more likely, I'll ask one of the crew to do it for me. Maya power back. Right, everybody, after me. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Rico. There will be a little celebration after work today. O'Donnell's upstairs, just checking with me. Am I getting them some Red Horse for Rico's birthday? Yeah, we'll find some. So, the response from O'Donnell, Aisha. All good. It's early-ish afternoon. We're getting more tiling. The bench seat getting done. They have done more work. I think they're very close to doing all the way around the island, almost down to the bottom. So we really are approaching the end of tiling until they do the steps, the top of this shallow bit, and then I think probably last of all, whatever they're going to do on the top surface of this island area. The sort of pebbly finish. And yes, if any of you have watched My PI Dream, I think it'll be vaguely similar to the surface that they used in their shallow area, actually. We'll see though, it's still not final. Right, thank you to all the people who have contributed in the comments about the names for the various parts that are in front of you for the roof. There does seem to be still a little variation in people's terminology. However, the general consensus is the prefabricated bits, which are the bits with all the triangles in it, which came to the site pre-made, are trusses. They may be known as pitched trusses, they may be known as angle trusses, or as they were described to me when they first came here, angle bars, but that seems to be maybe a very localized term. Above them, going away from us, they are the purlins, the sea purlins, because they're kind of shaped like a sea, although we're on the wrong side of them to see that. But those are the names that most people seem to agree are correct for these particular items. Rafters and joists still do get some votes, but seem to be more widely thought of as pieces that are more traditionally involved with ceilings, not with roofs. We'll come back to those maybe when we start to do ceilings. But again, there were several people who put comments in trying to educate this dummy. Hopefully I haven't made things worse with that very brief description. Right, this is as close as I can get. Basically, in the foreground you've got the truss, which was prefabricated, and then the more silver looking ones are the purlins. I don't know here, if we go over this side, you get a slightly better look at where they've been put together using the L-shaped brackets. Again, probably still not easy to see that. What is fairly clear to me is that this still requires some kind of rust-proof treatment. I believe all of this metalwork will get a rust-proof paint applied. This is one of the last areas upstairs that needs the initial coat of plaster. It's also the doorway that Carter Texpina looked at on a video a couple of days ago and said, that junction box is very close to the door. And the engineer originally said, oh, no problem, there's no actual door here, it's a door opening, and it'll be built out a little bit. They've had a change of heart. They're going to move it. It is too close. Oliver's back. He's been away for a couple of days. He does live a long way away, and he has hardly had a break since this whole build started. He's here every weekend, and it's just been non-stop really, and I got to move. It's 4:30. The work day is done. The pool, they have finished most of the tiling around the island. There's a little bit you can see at the bottom, and along here they've done more where the bench seat will be. So more and more and more and more tiling. Up on the roof, something that's been bugging me, and it's because I'm a dummy. You see, maybe you can make out the concrete hollow block that extend all the way to this end of the house at a more elevated level. And I've been wondering, how does that fit in with a basically sloping roof that this end is the low end? Well, if I'd actually taken the time to go back to the renderings, I would have realised there is a central area that is slightly raised, higher than the rest of the roof. It still slopes from back to front in the same way as the rest of the roof does. It's just higher, it's part of the design. Now I know. In the dining room, plastering has continued. Not far off, finishing this wall between the dining room and the kitchen. This is in the bathroom at the front of the house on the north side. It's one of the last remaining areas upstairs that hadn't been plastered inside. And I just wanted to show it to highlight something. You see the gap. That gap between the two levels of plaster is where there will be a niche. I'm not sure if it has other names, but basically a kind of built-in shelf to put your shampoo and soap and whatever else you would need in a bathroom, well, in a shower. We've asked for this in all of the bathrooms, and we've asked it to be as big as possible, within reason, because everyone seems to have more and more bottles of stuff in their bathrooms these days, and we didn't really want to have wire add-on shelves if we could avoid it. With the exception of 2 bathrooms, everywhere else upstairs is now plastered, except for this bit. So this is again where there is a double height ceiling above the sunroom. So this is yet to be done, and that's it, those 2 more bathrooms. And inside, we're done for that level of plastering. I said the workday was done. The day is not. A little celebration for Rico's birthday.